Hey everyone, this is Michael again. Welcome to episode 9 of the Bell Call podcast. And of course, my co-host Noah Kaser, is not here. He's busy, but he will be back at some point. So filling in for him again is none other than Rangers of Wrestling, aka Datila here. How you doing, Datila?
Doing good yourself?
Doing good. Datila and her nice Spider-Man nails there, which I really like. They did a good job.
The blue you can't see, but the blue has like the web as well.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, like this, except hold on, where's my thumb? Oh crap, like that, except it's in blue.
That's pretty cool.
hmm
But we're here for episode 9 here. We got some stuff to talk about. We're going to go over WWE confirming Survivor Series WarGames this year. And I know Datila's going to be happy about this, where it's located. And we're also going to go into our predictions for Saturday night's main event, which is this Saturday, and Evolution, which is this Sunday. And this weekend, we also have NXT Great American Bash. We were going to do predictions for it, but of course, Datila does not watch NXT. So as many times as I tell Datila to watch NXT and how it's gotten a little bit better, we have TNA stars appear on NXT, and of course she still does not want to watch NXT. It's a lot on her plate, and I understand.
I feel like with NXT, sometimes it's a hit or miss. It's either really good or it's meh.
Yeah, that's what it is at some points. Although their premium live events, their PLEs, they deliver on them. But yeah, so we're gonna do Saturday night's main event and Evolution predictions, and this is gonna be a crazy weekend. Like I said, with NXT Great American Bash, we have AEW All In, which is gonna be in Texas, and of course Saturday night's main event, which is later on Saturday. So we have 3 shows taking place on Saturday, and we have Evolution on Sunday, which to me, Evolution is feeling like a just forgettable show because of the card. But before we get into the predictions, we're going to talk about Survivor Series WarGames. WWE has confirmed Survivor Series WarGames for this year, and I really enjoy when Survivor Series comes around and they do WarGames. WarGames is my favorite, thing that WWE does every year, and it is confirmed by WWE that Survivor Series on November 29th, on Saturday, will be taking place in San Diego. So it's going to be taking place at Petco Park. It will become the first ever stadium to host Survivor Series. And it marks the first premium live event that WWE has held in San Diego since 2008. And of course, a general ticket on sale date for Survivor Series will be announced at a later date. And the announcement follows a record-breaking Survivor Series last year, which was held in front of a sellout crowd at Rogers Arena in Vancouver and generated the largest gate in the event's history. It says right here, we are beyond excited to host Survivor Series at Petco Park in partnership with the San Diego Tourism Authority, says Padres CEO Eric Grepner. I think that's how you pronounce his last name. Anybody watching, correct me if I'm wrong. It says, for over 2 decades, Petco Park has hosted the most iconic sports and entertainment moments in San Diego history and established a well-earned reputation as a world-class venue. We look forward to welcoming WWE's incredible talent and passionate fan base to America's #1 ballpark for what promises to be another unforgettable night in the heart of downtown San Diego. San Diego Mayor Todd Gloria ended up saying, and I quote, we're bringing Survivor Series to San Diego and couldn't be more excited to welcome this iconic event to the 619. This is a huge win for our city, our residents, and our local economy thousands of fans will travel here and experience everything that America's finest city has to offer. With the best stadium in the century and a passionate wrestling fan base, we're ready to make this Survivor Series one to remember. And Triple H ended up saying, for the first time in the event's nearly 40-year history, Survivor Series will take place in a stadium on November 29th, and we believe Petco Park in San Diego is the perfect host for a historic night. So there you go. Survivor Series WarGames. Going to take place in San Diego, in California, at Petco Park. And Datila, what do you think of this news? Because I know you're from California. You're in SoCal. What do you think of this news? And are you thinking of going to this?
Yes, I am thinking of going. I already have my hotel booked.
Wow. Look at that. I'm not surprised.
The On Location went on sale today. It was pretty expensive, I would say.
Yeah, we're doing this video on Tuesday, so you'll probably see it tomorrow.
Actually, tickets, the pre-sale is tomorrow. So,
there you go.
Well, Wednesday. So
we'll see how much tickets
are. I'm excited. I've never been to Survivor Series. I missed the one that was here in 2018. WarGames, the very first WarGames I ever saw was NXT TakeOver WarGames 2.
That was a great show.
Yeah, fantastic show. That was my first ever NXT. That was actually my introduction to the black and gold brand, because everybody would tell me, oh, you gotta watch NXT, you gotta watch NXT, it's better than the main roster. At that time, I was like, eh.
That's when she loved NXT.
Then I went to WarGames, and I was like, holy shit, this is great. I gotta start watching NXT. And I did start watching NXT because I was hooked. Yes, that's back when I used to watch NXT. And the pay-per-views.
Mm-hmm. What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, as far as WarGames is concerned, this is the third year in a row we're getting WarGames. I was kind of hoping we would take a break from WarGames.
Well, everybody likes the concept of WarGames.
I get that, but after a while it becomes like every year WarGames. It wouldn't hurt to take a break every now and then.
I think it's just WWE, doing, tradition for Survivor Series every year.
What happened to the traditional 5 versus 5 elimination match?
Everybody got tired of it. We all got tired of seeing, a Raw versus SmackDown 5-on-5.
It wasn't always Raw versus SmackDown. Like, my favorite 5-on-5 is Team DX versus Team Ray RKO.
I like that too.
Or Team Austin versus Team Bischoff.
That was good too. But
I thought we were gonna get Team Aldis versus Team Pierce. The way things are getting set up.
I thought that too, but I highly doubt they're gonna do it. But with WarGames coming back, I like it. I like that WWE is keeping up with this and making Survivor Series every year. WarGames, and hopefully it'll be a fun show this year and a fun WarGames match.
I think this is going to be the second time that Blank goes into the WarGames, because the way things are setting up, I think it's going to be Solo, Hikuleo, Tongaloa, Tamatonga, and JC Mateo versus Wally Jacob Fatu, the Usos, and then maybe 2 more people.
I was thinking maybe Seth Rollins' group might be in WarGames.
Okay. I could see that as well.
You have Rollins.
I would prefer that. I would prefer that over another Bloodline WarGames match.
Yeah. I would prefer to have Rollins' group in there and, not seeing another, Bloodline, WarGames.
Okay, so it's Rollins, Breaker, and Bronson Reed, Penta, Jey Uso, Sami Zayn. They could do 4 or they could do 5.
Yeah. You could do a 4-on-4 or a 5-on-5. Which I'm okay with. I'm okay if it's a 4-on-4. Do we really need it to be 5-on-5 every single year?
No, we don't need to be on 5-on-5 every single year. Sometimes
try to mix it up and just give us a 4-on-4. Because if you do a 5-on-5, who is going to be the 5th member in Rollins' group, and who's going to be the 5th member in the other group.
Yeah, good point.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, happy that War Games is coming back, and it's going to be set in San Diego. Nice setting for War Games. Hopefully next year we get War Games here in New York. Either War Games or Money in the Bank give it to us.
I wonder if there's a reason this pay-per-view is in San Diego.
You think it could be Rey Mysterio's retirement? Probably.
Maybe it has to do something with Rey Mysterio, because I was like, San Diego? I mean, there's 3 wrestlers are from San Diego: Dom, Nia Jax, and Rey Mysterio.
You know what I
So
think? Maybe at Survivor Series, uh, at War Games, maybe it's going to be Rey Mysterio's retirement match, and he's going to face Dominic. That will be their that will be his retirement match. I think Rey will be passing the torch on to Dominic.
yeah, because I thought about it too. I'm like, huh, like, why is this? And I'm like, there has to be a reason why this is in San Diego
Mm-hmm.
and not LA or anywhere else in California.
How far is the drive from San Diego from where you are?
I'm not gonna drive, but I heard it's like 4 hours, like 2 to 4 hours depending on traffic.
Good luck, Datila.
I'm taking the train down there. I'm taking the Amtrak's, much cheaper.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Survivor Series War Games confirmed for San Diego, Petco Park.
You
Uh,
know, I don't know if you know this, but real quick, San Diego actually a couple years ago had a named June 19th Rey Mysterio Day.
really?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
There you go, 619.
Mm-hmm.
It makes sense. There you go. Petco Park looks like a pretty cool baseball park where the Padres play. So really like to see how the stage is going to look like, if WWE is going to give it a special stage. So, but we'll see.
I'm sure they're gonna release Padres colored merchandise.
Yeah, without a doubt. But yeah, that's WWE confirming Survivor Series War Games. Let us know in the comments if you guys are going to go to Survivor Series War Games this year in San Diego. Are you excited? Let us know in the comments down
Yeah.
below. Another thing I wanted to touch on before we get into the predictions. This news broke out to Tilla that Chavo Guerrero has signed back. He signed a contract with WWE, and I'm good for Chavo Guerrero coming back to WWE. I enjoyed Chavo in his time back then when he was a part of the company. I really enjoyed his time when he was in Lucha Underground. He performed very good matches down there. And if Chavo Guerrero, appears on TV back in WWE, I could sense that he's going to get probably, a part-time contract maybe. Maybe he's just going to be there to help, some of the superstars there, and probably be a coach for them. So that's how the way I see it happen with Chavo Guerrero there. But it said, according to a report by FIFO Select, Chavo Guerrero has reportedly informed sources that he is back with WWE in official capacity. However, the report also notes that WWE has yet to confirm Chavo's return to the company. Chavo was last seen in the company in 2011 when he was released as requested after spending 10 years with the company and winning the Cruiserweight title 4 times, the Tag Team titles 2 times, and also claiming the ECW World title once, although he was never considered a real world champion caliber wrestler by WWE, as he lost the ECW title to Kane at WrestleMania 24. Yeah, I remember that. In just an embarrassing 11 seconds. Can you believe that? Losing the ECW title in 11 seconds to Kane. So
Well,
following his
Brian
departure,
lost the world title to Sheamus in 18 seconds.
yeah, well, yeah, he beat Chavo Guerrero's time. So following his departure in 2011, he returned to the independent circuit before joining TNA in 2012 and left the following year. He worked in Lucha Underground for 5 years. After joining in 2014, he returned to TNA for a brief stint in 2019 before joining AEW in 2021, and he was just there in AEW for a year. Chavo has also been busy with his career in the film industry, serving as a wrestler coordinator on the Netflix show Glow, and he also worked as the wrestling coordinator on Young Rock, which was a pretty good show, involving
He
The
also
Rock.
helped. He also trained Zac Efron for the Iron Claw.
Oh, I didn't even know that. That was pretty. That's pretty interesting news. Interesting trivia. It says if Chavo has rejoined the WWE, it is unlikely that they will want him back in the ring, despite him still wrestling sporadically, with his last match having taken place just 2 days ago on July 5th. It would make sense he would instead serve as a producer or a coach. That's what I, stated, him possibly coming back to being a coach, given his wealth of knowledge in the business. So there you go. Like it says in the article, WWE has not yet confirmed it, but he did sign a contract. We're just waiting for WWE to make it official. So, Datila, what do you think of Chavo Guerrero signing back with WWE?
Chavo Guerrero can still go. He actually wrestled a match this year in TNA in March. He teamed with the Aztec Warriors, Laredo Kid, and Octagon Jr., who I'm sure you're familiar with now.
Of course, thanks to Worlds Collide.
Who they teamed against Frankie Kazarian and First Class, being AJ Francis, aka Top Dollar, and Casey Navarro, who I'm sure again you're familiar with because he was on NXT.
Of course.
And he could still go. I was surprised. I was amazed that he could still go. And I think you're right. I think more than likely they are gonna bring him back as a coach or something, but he could still go, as a wrestler.
Yeah, they say either as a coach or a producer, and I'm be okay with that. I enjoyed when he was tag team champions with Eddie and they were Los Guerreros.
Yeah,
that was they were my favorite tag team back in the day, and them win the titles, being tag team champions was just great. They brought prestige to the tag team titles. I always remember the promos that they did, which were funny, where they were riding in a golf cart, which was pretty cool, and it would be like, he's Eddie, he's Chavo, Los Guerreros.
Yeah, that was great.
And then the Viva la Raza, which Eddie carried into him as a singles competitor. But yeah, good times.
I can't believe it'll be 20 years this November.
Eddie Guerrero passed. Yeah.
Yeah.
I still remember the day that news broke out when he passed away.
Oh God, I'm gonna show my age. I'm gonna show my age here. I was in 7th grade, and I was 12.
I was in high school when
I was in 7th grade.
I was a freshman in high school when it happened. I remember going on WWE.com, and at first I thought it was fake, because you know how you had online Eddie Guerrero passed away, and then they'll be like, no, it's fake. But then going on WWE.com, I was like, really? He passed away? And then a video came out with Vince McMahon and Chavo Guerrero. And this was when Chavo was
Current White.
The stupid Current White gimmick where he's coming out on the golf cart with the stupid white hair. What an awful gimmick. And then I'm really glad that he went back to, him just being Chavo, after Eddie passed. But they did a whole little conference when Eddie passed that day, and they were it was on a Monday, and they were going to do Monday Night Raw, and they had everything planned out, only for them to change the show because they did it as a tribute show to Eddie. So I remember watching it, and it was a very good tribute show. They also did one for SmackDown.
Yeah, they put the lowrider out. into the.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
bump the
remember.
lowrider out. This is when Eddie Guerrero was well, before Eddie passed, he was teaming up with Batista.
With Batista, yeah, I remember.
With,
My favorite segment of them was when Eddie's backstage and he's eating his food, and when Batista comes and just steals it from him.
yeah, yeah, he moved on. He moved from Rey Mysterio to Batista, which I thought that was pretty good.
Hmm.
And you know the whole thing with Eddie and Ray. I thought their feud was very good, very entertaining. Of course, this is leaning back to when they first went at it when they were in WCW. They had that awesome match at Halloween Havoc '97, which was cool. But Chavo Guerrero, it's good that he's back with WWE, even though they have yet to confirm it. Uh, what I see him is, him being a producer or a coach, to help some of these superstars, get better in the ring and to show them, like more moves that they could do and just, coach them all the way. I could see probably him being on a season of Legends of Future Greats, maybe, which to tell you, you should watch Legends and Future Greats. It's very good.
I could also see Chavo Guerrero working directly with the TPA talent and
Hmm.
helping them with like English and translating lucha libre style to WWE style. I could see him doing that.
Yeah, and of course you got the AAA Lucha Libre talent that WWE, they end up purchasing AAA. That's when they
Yeah,
did Worlds Collide.
I just said that in Spanish.
So I didn't get it there. Sorry about that, Datila.
It's all good.
But yeah, Chavo Guerrero signed with WWE. It's cool, and if he's on as a producer, he could be. I would say we could see him possibly be one of the officials that comes out when there's a brawl happening. Just like we see Jason Jordan out there, uh, Gregory Helms. So hopefully we see Chavo make a little appearance on TV. Yeah, now on to we're not going to do NXT Great American Bash predictions. Saturday night's main event predictions. So Saturday night's main event is this Saturday, and the last Saturday night's main event that we got, it was okay show, but too many commercial breaks happened in that show. It was like literally a commercial after commercial after commercial. And even I know we watched JD from New York 206 when he reviewed Saturday Night's main event. He was like commercial after commercial after commercial after commercial, which that made me laugh. But
Hey, but that Saturday night's main event led to us getting Ron Killings because
yeah,
it was after that our truth was released and he became Ron Killings.
exactly. Which you know, they should use Ron Killings more. Like the last match that we saw Ron Killings was when he faced John Cena on SmackDown. So, but yeah, so here is the matchup here, the card for Saturday night's main event this Saturday. Only 3 matches.
Only
I,
3 matches? That's
yeah,
it?
yeah. I think they might add a 4th match somewhere, maybe, because it's a 2-hour show.
They're gonna have a
So
lot of segments in between if there's only 3 matches.
yeah. So we have Gunther versus Goldberg for the World Heavyweight Championship.
Just
So
stop, Gunter.
yeah, Gunther's going to win it. This will be Goldberg's retirement match. I can sense this match going maybe 2 or 3 minutes tops. Because
This should not last so long. This should not
no,
be a 30-minute match.
no, this is going to be spear cover, Gunther kick out. Gunther's going to lay in some moves on Goldberg. Goldberg somehow spears again Gunther, goes for the cover. Gunther kicks out. Goldberg will hit a jackhammer slam, goes for the cover. Gunther kicks out, and Gunther will just lay out Goldberg, go for the cover, and Gunther was going to retain the World Heavyweight Championship. Although people are predicting this, people are predicting that Goldberg is going to win the title, and we're gonna. And I heard this on Busted Open Radio this morning. I listened to Busted Open. Sirius XM has Pro Wrestling Nation 24/7 that just launched last week, and it is an awesome station. If you have Sirius XM, Dave LaGreca and Bully Ray end up saying this this morning. They stated that this was their prediction that that Goldberg will possibly win, and Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed are going to come out with Paul Heyman. Seth Rollins will probably come into the ring, attack Goldberg from behind, cashes in the Money in the Bank briefcase, pins Goldberg, and then Seth Rollins will become the new World Heavyweight Champion. That's what their predictions were. I don't see that happening because I think that Rollins is going to hold the briefcase for a very long while. So I sense that Gunther is going to retain the title. So, but Datila, what do you think about that scenario that I said? Do you think that will actually happen?
Okay. When you
I know you were like, what the fuck?
Oh, I hit my knee. That's why.
Oh, I was like, oh, what I was describing is you like, no, that can't happen.
In that scenario, I could see that kind of happening, depending on, they want to give Goldberg one last hurrah and then have all that happen. But if that's not going to happen, Goldberg does not need to win this.
Exactly. And this is not a match that I'm looking forward to.
Me neither.
This is just to get Goldberg his retirement match. This could have easily been done in Saudi Arabia. But
Yeah.
since it's in Atlanta, Goldberg's hometown, it makes sense.
Well, I'm gonna be. Let's see how long this match lasts. This is definitely main eventing.
A lot of people were saying this could be the first one to go. This could be the first match to go on.
I will say this: if this is first, then for sure Gunther's winning. But if this goes on last, then that scenario that Dave LaGreca discussed and Bully Ray discussed, I could see it happening.
Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, I'm going with Gunther. If Seth Rollins, like what Dave LaGreca and Bully Ray said, if Goldberg wins the World Heavyweight Championship and Seth Rollins catches it in, that's good. I wouldn't mind that. Have a disappointment for Goldberg there in his hometown. Then we could just say bye-bye to Goldberg. Next is LA Knight versus Seth Rollins. Now, I think, we got to do,
Yeah.
So if this is, you know what? I think maybe you're going to be right, Datila. I think Gunther versus Goldberg is going to main event because we have Seth Rollins facing LA Knight. So I wouldn't see this match. I wouldn't see Gunther versus Goldberg happening first. What I think is that this match starts off the show, and then Randy Orton versus Drew McIntyre, and then Gunther versus Goldberg, and that's when possibly we might get the cash in on Rollins. But LA Knight versus Seth Rollins, this is going to be a good match here. Probably these two are going to have, some good chemistry in the ring. I'm going to have to go with Seth Rollins winning because he is on a winning streak with his group. which we still got no group name for his group yet. I'm like, when are we going to get the group name already? But I sense that Rollins is going to win the match, and LA Knight, he'll move on. It's not going to be a match for LA Knight. So, Datila, what do you think?
I was actually thinking LA Knight,
Yeah.
because if this match opens, because I'm just trying to like book in my head. If you open with this match and LA Knight, loses, and Seth Rollins tries to cash in during the main event, don't you think LA Knight, will stop him?
That's a good scenario there.
So I feel like LA Knight, wins this match.
But you want to keep, Seth Rollins' momentum, going because of the group, because of his group.
He doesn't have to win by pinfall. He could win by DQ.
Yeah. So I'm going with Rollins here, and Datila's going with LA Knight. Yeah.
LA Knight, yeah.
And then we get Randy Orton versus Drew McIntyre. I think this is going to be a really good matchup here. Randy Orton, Drew McIntyre. I think they're going to deliver. Drew McIntyre just returned on SmackDown on Friday. It was good to see Drew McIntyre back. Unexpected, because we all didn't know that McIntyre was going to return. For who wins this match, I'm going to have to go with McIntyre. You don't want McIntyre to lose, as he came back last week. He just returned. So if you have Orton pinning McIntyre, then what? So then why did you bring back Drew McIntyre then? For him to take a loss to Orton? So I'm going with McIntyre because he needs to win after returning last week. So Attila, what do you think?
I'm also going with Drew McIntyre, but I think that the reason why Orton loses is like we're gonna slowly start to see a heel turn. Like, I mean, we saw hints of it during his match with Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
So I feel like this is gonna continue to push Randy over the edge until he turns heel again. So I gotta go with Drew McIntyre.
So there you go. We both went with Drew McIntyre here. Now, there's only 3 matches on the card. Who knows if there's going to be a 4th match? Maybe they'll announce it on SmackDown on Friday. So we'll end up seeing. But, it's a 2-hour show. You got to fill, the 2 hours. And last Saturday night's main event only had, it had 6 matches. One being, I think, a dark match. So 5 matches if you don't count the dark match. So yeah, they should add up some more matches for Saturday.
But I think what happens because they booked Evolution that they couldn't add like at least because they could have added like 2 women's matches to this, a title match and a regular match, but because Evolution is the next day, it's kind of like,
Yeah, but I think it's just gonna be what promos to hype up Evolution.
I don't know. They gotta think of something. There's no way you can have 3 matches in 2 hours.
Yeah, unless the goal. I don't want to say that. I hope that's not the case.
What?
If Gunther versus Goldberg is gonna go 20 minutes to 30 minutes, I hope that's not the case.
I mean, Gunther could possibly get a good match out of Goldberg. Who knows?
Yeah, I like shivered at that. That gave me the chills there. Saying, "Oh, Gunther versus Goldberg could go 20 to 30 minutes." I'm like, ugh. But yeah, let us know your predictions in the comments down below here. What you think of the card here? Do you think they should add more matches? Who do you think is going to win? Let us know. Okay, so moving on to Evolution here, and Evolution is taking place this Sunday at State Farm Arena in Atlanta. And we have 7 matches on the card. And we were going to have another match with Nikki Bella versus Liv Morgan, but of course we all know what happened. Liv Morgan suffered a dislocated shoulder on Monday Night Raw a few weeks back. She got injured in the match against Kairi Sane, so it scrapped all the plans for Liv Morgan here, and it caused WWE to rewrite the entire show. And so, since Nikki has not taken on Liv Morgan, she is then put into the Evolution Battle Royal for a chance at a world championship, for a women's world championship match at Clash in Paris in August. So we have 7 matches on the card. We have the first one here for the NXT Women's Championship, where it's going to be Jacy Jayne versus Jordynne Grace. Now, Jacy Jayne is the NXT Women's Champion, and I know there are people that don't like Jacy Jayne. I think she is okay in the ring. I've been a fan of Jacy Jayne since Toxic Attraction with Gigi Dolan and Mandy Rose. And I think Jacy Jayne, has the potential to be pretty good. She just needs a little more work. But I really like the new group that she's in with Fallon Henley and Jasmine Nix. And I think this is going to be a decent match here. I think that Jacy Jayne is going to retain the title to me, because I think give Jacy Jayne a little bit more lengthy run with the NXT Women's Championship. So I'm going to go with Jacy Jayne here. Like I said, I think it's going to be a decent match, but when you wake up the next day, it'll probably be forgettable. Like, you probably won't remember anything from it. So, Datila, what do you think?
I like this thing. I definitely think she's potential, but I gotta go with Jordynne Grace on this one. Because I know you don't watch TNA, but TNA is doing a pay per view on the 20th called Slammiversary, where it was announced that Masha Slamovich will have a title for a title match, meaning she will be putting her knockouts title on the line against the NXT Women's Champion, which will either be Jacy Jayne or Jordynne Grace. And since Masha Slamovich and Jordynne Grace have history, I could definitely see Jordynne Grace winning the NXT Women's title here, and then going on to Slammiversary to face Masha Slamovich, who was one of her best rivals, the other being the virtuosa Deonna Purrazzo. Jordynne Grace and Masha wrestled 3 times. Jordynne beat her twice until Masha got her victory in the third match. So I gotta give it to Jordynne Grace.
Okay. We gotta do it for Deonna Purrazzo. May she fucking reign.
Yeah, shout out to my buddy Lucha. He came up with that.
I thought you came up with it.
No, he did.
Oh. But yeah, she's going with Jordynne Grace. So, but, like I said before, could be a decent match, but it'll become forgettable when you wake up the next day, probably. Next is Io Sky versus Rhea Ripley for the Women's World Championship. Now, Rhea Ripley, she wants back the Women's World Championship. And I don't think that Rhea is going to win back the Women's World Championship, because she had a pretty decent lengthy reign with the title. I sense that Io is going to retain the title. So what do you think, Datila?
I feel like had it not been for Liv's unfortunate injury, I think we probably would have seen Asuka versus Io Sky in this pay per view. But because of Liv's unfortunate injury, they had to change plans. So, which is why we got Rio and Io Sky and Rhea Ripley. I also got to go with Io Sky to retain here.
Yeah, but could be a good match between the both of them. I'm a fan of both Io and Rhea. So they're going to deliver. Both women are going to deliver. We have the Judgment Day, Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez versus Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss versus Sol Ruca and Zarya versus the Kabuki Warriors, Asuka and Kairi Sane, which they reunited this past Monday on Monday Night Raw. And this is a fatal four-way tag team match for the Women's Tag Team Championship. So Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez's Women's Tag Team titles are going to be on the line. Roxanne Perez is the replacement for Liv Morgan. And as what we saw on Monday Night Raw on Monday, where Roxanne Perez had a little memorial for Liv Morgan, which, Raquel was like, oh, she's still alive. But you got Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss teaming up. And I'm like, really? Sol Ruca and Zarya. I like Sol Ruca. Zarya, I like as well. They're my favorite women stars in NXT. They have a lot of potential. I like Sol Ruca's gimmick. Asuka and Kairi Sane, it's good that they reunite as the Kabuki Warriors, but hopefully this is not leading to Asuka being all silly and goofy, like what we saw when Vince ended up booking her with Kairi in the Kabuki Warriors, because there were shades of that on Raw on Monday, where she was acting kind of goofy and corny a little bit. So hopefully that's not the case with Asuka. But to me, Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez are going to retain the titles because Liv Morgan is out. She technically is still one half of the women's tag team champions. Roxanne Perez is just a replacement for Liv Morgan until she returns. And when Liv comes back, she's going to be coming back as a baby face. And so this is going to lead up to Liv Morgan becoming a big baby face when she returns. And she is going to be facing Roxanne Perez. I think she's going to be like, oh, so why are you holding the women's tag team titles with Raquel? So I think this is going to be leading up to that feud happening. So, Datila, who do you think is going to retain the titles here?
First of all, I have to say, I do like Sol Ruca. I agree with you. I think her finisher, the Soul Center, is actually pretty cool. I may not watch NXT on a consistent basis, but from the times that I have seen it, Sol Ruca has been a standout in my to me, anyways.
Yeah.
Second of all, I'm pretty sure this would have originally been against the Bella Twins for the tag titles. I feel like that was the plan, but then it became a singles. Maybe they couldn't get Brie Bella. I'm actually kind of disappointed with this match because they didn't include my favorite women's tag team, the only legitimate tag team, the Inspiration, aka or FKA, the Iconics.
Iconic.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what I think? I think maybe we might see them in the Battle Royal.
Personally, I would have preferred them in this match, but that's just my opinion.
If they were in the match, they wouldn't even be winning it. They wouldn't.
I know, but they're still a tag team, okay? And I thought that they would have defended against TNA too. But I gotta go with Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez to retain here.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't see Charlotte and Alexa Bliss winning. Sol Ruca and Zarya, no. Asuka and Kairi Sane, they just reunited. So imagine they reunite and then they're the women's tag team champions just like that. Just for a pop.
Hey, they did that with Becky Lynch and Lyra.
Yeah. But next is the Evolution Battle Royal. The winner of this Battle Royal will have a Women's World Championship match at Clash in Paris in August. So the participants in this are Nikki Bella, Stephanie Vaquer, Natalya, Maxine Dupree, Nia Jax, and Ivy Nile. And maybe, possibly, the Inspiration, if that happens. So, number one, Nikki Bella is not winning this. Get that out of your head, people. Nikki Bella is not winning this. Natalya, no. Maxine, that would be laughable. Nia Jax, no. Ivy Nile, no. Stephanie Vaquer is my pick to win it. Stephanie Vaquer will win this Battle Royal, and she will get a shot at the Women's World Championship at Clash in Paris. That's how the way I see it going. Stephanie Vaquer is your main woman to win this Battle Royal. So, what do you think, Datila?
Any surprises?
No, no surprises. All that was announced. But
No, I'm saying, do you think there's going to be surprises in this?
maybe, like I said, the Inspiration, because there was talks of that. So I think that's the only surprise that we'll probably get, maybe, if that happens. So, but who do you see
I
wins the
think
match?
I think there's going to be plenty. I think that there should be plenty of surprises. I think we'll see some TNA knockouts, maybe some that we've seen, like Rosemary. Maybe some that have ties to WWE, like Yi Ling Yi, aka or FKA Zia Lee, Ash by Elegance, FKA Dana Brooke.
Oh God,
So maybe
please
we'll
no,
see some of them.
please no.
This battle royal, and my pick to win is just like you, Stephanie Marquez.
Exactly. So there we go. Stephanie Vaquer is the only one that could win this battle royal. I think she, for the long, for since she's been on the main roster, she she needs to be put in the title picture. Next, we got Tiffany Stratton versus Trish Stratus for the Women's Championship. Why is this taking place? What did Trish Stratus do to earn an opportunity at the Women's Championship? Absolutely nothing. But yeah, I understand Tiffany Stratton wanted to pick Trish. She wanted to pick, a legend, a Hall of Famer for her to compete against. But it could be a good match here because I like Tiffany Stratton. Trish Stratus, we all love. She is a legend. She's one of the best
Thank
women.
you, Trish.
Yep. Thank you, Trish. Yeah, we all want to forget that heel run that she had. That was absolutely horrible. Uh, Trish Stratus, of course, legend, Hall of Famer. But good match, but was this needed for Trish Stratus to get a shot at the Women's Championship? No. I think Stratton could have done a little bit better. But at the end of the day, Stratton's going to retain the Women's Championship.
I think this is going to be a pretty decent match. I think that with Tiffany's athleticism and the fact that Trish can still go, I think it's going to be a pretty good match. But obviously, Tiffany's going to retain here.
Yeah. Because Tiffany Stratton, she's doing a good job as the Women's Champion. She's over with the crowd. She's a big baby face. So I hope she gets a more lengthy run with the Women's Championship. Next is Jade Cargill versus Naomi. No holds barred match. Now, I really enjoy Naomi's heel run so far. It's very interesting. And Naomi needed this heel turn because she gotten pretty stale as a baby face. And Jade Cargill, she is, okay in the ring. She's not the greatest, though. I think she still needs a little bit more training. But to me, this match, I think they're going to give it to Jade Cargill. That's how the way I see it, because they want to keep Jade's stardom up. They want to keep up her big push. So I'm gonna have to go with Jade Cargill winning this. So Tilla.
Okay, so ever since Naomi came back to WWE, I was not a fan because I felt like she did some of her best work in TNA as Trinity. She was incredible in TNA. If you, yeah, incredible as a babyface too. She looked like a star. So to see her come back and then see what she got, I was so disappointed. I'm like, like TNA treated her like such a massive star, and she was like massively over. So I was kind of disappointed, but ever since she's turned heel, she's knocked it out of the park. I was at
I
Money in the
agree.
Bank when she won the briefcase, and I have the video on my YouTube channel. Like everybody was like cheering for Naomi. I was rooting for Naomi. I'm really happy that she won, and I think we both know how this is gonna go. Jade's gonna win this match. She's gonna beat Tiffany, and then Naomi's gonna cash in on her.
Mm, I sense that probably happening. Even though, like I said, I like to see Tiffany Stratton let a lengthy run as the women's championship, have her, progress, get out more. Yeah, that's going to be the case. I think Naomi is going to be the next women's champion after Tiffany Stratton. Next is the triple threat match for the Women's Intercontinental Championship: Becky Lynch versus Bayley versus Lyra Valkyria. Becky Lynch, her promos that she cuts, they are absolutely terrible. Even her as a heel, cutting a promo. Uh, Bayley, she's doing, very good here. I liked that she went on Twitter and she said that like her gear, she was going to donate to the people that were affected by the Texas floods. So I have a whole lot of more respect for Bayley for doing that. Lyra Valkyria, she is doing very good. She has gotten better on the mic, in my opinion. But this could be a pretty good match here. Uh, I think Becky is going to lose the Women's Intercontinental Championship because uh, it came out that Becky Lynch is had been cast in a show on FX. So I think she is going to drop the title because of her going to film uh, that show on FX because she is part of the main cast for the show. So I think that the title is going to go back on Lyra Valkyria. I don't think that uh, Bayley is going to win it because Lyra. I think she's going to bring more prestige to the Women's Intercontinental Championship before she lost it to Becky. So I think the title's going back on Lyra. Tell what do you think?
Well, I didn't know Becky got cast in a TV show,
Mm-hmm.
and I was looking at the calendar. There's 3 weeks left before SummerSlam. So if she doesn't drop the title here, she would definitely drop it at SummerSlam. So I'm gonna go with Becky to retain here.
Okay, but yeah, there was no word when that show that Becky has been cast in is going to start filming. But who knows if they're going to start filming uh, next month or like Datila said, maybe after SummerSlam she'll drop the title and go off to film the TV show. But who knows? But Datila's going with Becky to retain. I'm going with Lyra. So we'll see what happens. Overall, looking at the Evolution card, uh, it looks good on paper, but I have a sense that after it's over, it's going to be a forgettable show to me. I think with Liv Morgan being injured, that changed everything for the show, because I think that there was, it might have been a good show if Liv Morgan was on the card because she is pretty much one of the top, you know, woman heels in WWE. So with that, being said, with Liv Morgan going out on injury and WWE having to effectively rewrite the entire show, I think this is going to come off as a forgettable show at the end of the day when it's over. So, what do you think, Datila?
I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. I didn't watch the first Evolution, so I'm actually kind of looking forward to this one.
First Evolution was okay though. It was from I remember it was in Long Island. So,
Well, we'll see.
yeah. But yeah, let us all know your predictions of for Evolution in the comments down below. Do you agree with our predictions? Do you have some? Do you have other predictions? For the show? Let us know in the comments down below. But with that being said, that's it for episode 9 of the Bell Call podcast. Thank you, Datila, for coming on and filling in for Noah. Do you have anything that's coming up? Plug your channel if you want.
Yeah, you could check out my YouTube channel, Rangers of Wrestling. And I know I haven't been streaming on consistently. I'm trying to get back on that schedule.
Yeah, we've been waiting.
But I did do a stream celebrating the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers 30th anniversary, the movie, I might add, 30th anniversary, where me and my good friend, the DWC himself, talk about the movie and stuff like that. And with Power Month approaching, I might be doing some more Power Ranger stuff for Power Month. And I am in the process of trying to maybe start streaming on Twitch because I did get Rita's Rewind. So we'll
Nice.
see how that works out.
Nice. That's awesome. And you could also find me on Datila's channel from time to time where I review Monday Night Raw with her, SmackDown, the PLEs. So I appear there. So subscribe to Rangers of Wrestling, Datila's channel. If you like what you see her do, subscribe to her. She's a very awesome friend, and really I'm grateful that she takes the time, and does these videos with me. So I appreciate that, Datila.
You're welcome.
Yeah. So, but anyways, that's it for the Bell Call podcast, episode 9. Hope you all enjoy this. Hopefully, hopefully Noah will be back for episode 10, maybe. If not, of course, Datila will fill in if she has the time. So, with that being said, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all later.
Bye.